I want to remind you to check out Zencastr, Zencastr. That is my favorite program to use for all my recording needs. And the great part is, not only do they have audio, but they also have video options as well. So whether you're video conferencing, podcasting, just catching up with friends and loved ones, you definitely want to check out Zencastr. They have paid subscriptions. They also have a free version, which I'm actually using right now. Transcripts, the whole 9 yards, and even, get this, Zencastr has started to do hosting. So for all you podcasters out there, if you're looking for a host for your show, please consider Zencastr. You will not regret it. I'm telling you right now. Once again, Zencastr. Made on Zencastr. That's right.
In.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Brothers and sisters, you know the River City Wrestling Con is bigger and better than ever this year. Saturday and Sunday, June 8th and 9th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. VIP entry 10 a.m. to the vendor hall. This is all taking place at a new venue here for the con. We're talking World Golf Village in St. Augustine, Florida. You definitely want to be there, if for no other reason than certainly for Saturday, June 8th, you get to see one of the mainstays, someone that the fans love to see. Each year he makes himself available. We are talking about the two-time Hall of Famer himself, Booker T. How you doing there, Booker?
I'm feeling grand, man. Feeling real good.
River City Wrestling Con. I mean, those fans can't get enough of Booker T, the two-time Hall of Famer. They always love to meet you, whether it be young or old, you know, folks who grew up watching you throughout their entire lives, or young people who are just discovering you but already know that they're a big fan of yours. Talk to me about what folks can expect when they meet the two-time Hall of Famer himself, Booker T.
You know, when I do conventions, man, it's special. It really is. To actually get a chance to go to the fans that have been there for me for so many years. It's not my moment, you know. It's their moment, and it's my job to make sure they leave with an experience. Just like, you know, after one of my wrestling matches from back in the day, I wanted them to be excited. I wanted them to be energized. You know, so when they come and see me at the con, it's going to be no different. You know, I'm going to make sure we have some fun. I'm going to make sure we go down memory lane and, you know, tell some of those stories. And, you know, but more importantly, man, just have a good time.
And it's really cool that you continue to have a good time and help these wonderful fans have a good time at these great events like the River City Wrestling Con. First of all, happy birthday, Booker. I know that you just recently celebrated a birthday, and I'm floored by this. Is it correct that you just turned 59 years old?
Correcto. Yes, most definitely.
Well, Booker, you could still go in the ring, man, and you look like you could still go in the ring, even more importantly. Is it fair to say that Booker T is in the best shape of his life at this point at 59 years old?
You know, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm in the best shape of my life. I'd never be 20 again, 30 or 40, you know what I mean? But with 59, after, you know, being in the wrestling business for over 30 years and competed for well over 20 years in the ring, pretty much nonstop, no vacations or anything like that, I feel pretty good. I feel really, really good. I'm at 59. I can play basketball with my son. You know, he's 13. He can school me, of course, but I can still get out there with him, and, you know, just enjoy the fruits of the labor, man. I thought about this when I was 30 years old, getting to this point. Almost 30 years ago, I thought about this, and it feels good. It really does. It really feels good.
That's great news to hear, man. And again, it's so cool to be able to touch base with you and just not only see you on TV, see you with reality of wrestling, online and what have you here, interact with you. Booker, you're just in such a wonderful, positive space, and you've been this way for, 30 plus years. You know what I mean? It's amazing, man. The last time you were here on Duke Loves Rasslin 2 years ago, we had a great conversation. The folks loved it. We talked about the King Booker character and the fact that that was a vehicle to help get Charmel and keep her on TV. We talked about, the love and the loyalty and the respect that you have for your brother Stevie Ray, and really all the folks who have helped you along the way and how you've never forgotten where you come from. Heck, we even talked about Global Wrestling Federation, and that was a huge, huge hit with everybody because you don't get to hear much about Global. It's really taken on like a mythical reputation through the years just because of all the great stars that came through there, including yourself and your brother Stevie Ray. Last time I had Ron Simmons on the show, I asked Ron about his Jerry curl, and it was a hit. It was a big hit, and Ron really enjoyed answering that question because it was something a little different, but something that he really enjoyed talking about. So I'm going to hit you with something like that this time too, Booker. I want you to close your eyes and go back in time, all right? We are going to go back to 1992, 1993. Let's say that it is a Friday night. Booker T, you just got your hair fixed. Your brother Stevie Ray, he just came out of the car wash. He pulls up in whatever fast car he's driving, the IROC Z, whatever it is. You both are ready to hit the town and be seen and go see what's out there. So I need to know right now for all of our wonderful listeners, Booker T, back in those days, on a Friday night, what music is playing out of the car to set the stage for what Booker T and Stevie Ray are going to do when they hit the town? Come on now, Booker. Give us the skinny here. What tunes are playing through those speakers?
Oh, man, you would be surprised, man. It probably would have been some Jon Secada. I'm dead serious, man. I'm a music connoisseur, I love all music. And my brother was a big, big Jon Secada fan back in the day, just a high note to the pitch, that he could go to, so it probably would have been something like that.
This is absolutely incredible here. Grammy Award winner Jon Secada, his music playing through the speakers while these muscled up, badass dudes, Booker T and Stevie Ray, are hitting the town back in 92, 93. I love it, man. Just Another Day, or even the big smash ballad, Angel. Booker T and Stevie Ray singing Angel.
Yeah. The ladies loved it, though, what I mean? Maybe that was it, yeah.
I love that. I knew I'd be able to get you with that one, man. I knew I'd be able to get you. Just another example that, folks, you never know what you're going to get here on Duke Loves Rasslin. I love it. I love it. Listen, Book, reality of wrestling. Over 20 years, you and your team have done such a great job training the next generation of wrestling stars and developing your own TV show, web show, and it just continues to grow bigger and better than ever. In fact, over the past year, you've taken it to the next level and really have ramped things up on a scale that you've never even seen before. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about the changes over at Reality of Wrestling and what this all means.
Man, Reality of Wrestling is going strong, man. Right now we're up to like 760 YouTube subscribers. We delivering content on a weekly basis. Just coming off a huge weekend. Just last weekend, Lexus King from NXT showed up. Top Dollar from TNA showed up as well. Sold out for the last, maybe 5 or 6 shows. We have to add more risers in the building because it's getting that incredible on a monthly basis. We got a show coming up on 6/8 on June the 8th. Power Shift. We haven't even announced to anybody as far as talent that's going to be there, and it's selling like crazy already. But it's amazing. It really is amazing to be able to build something, to create something through young people, and giving young people a chance to actually be able to live that dream that I've been a part of for more than 30 years. It's really, really awesome to be able to mentor, these young guys and these young girls at the same time, because I was that kid once upon a time, looking for a pat on the back, somebody to tell me that I was capable, I was worthy, as well as somebody to tell me, hey, you need to check yourself. I needed that, so for me to be in that position, it's really, really, it's truly a blessing for me at this stage of the game. It truly is. I couldn't ask for more.
At Reality of Wrestling on all of your social media, realityofwrestling.com. Definitely head over to the website, especially all of you aspiring wrestlers. If you want to be the next big star, then you definitely want to go over to realityofwrestling.com, fill out the information. You never know. You might have your opportunity to be the next big name out there. And certainly check out the YouTube channel, Reality of Wrestling. It is incredible. Over 763,000 subscribers, and it grows day by day. They're doing great stuff. It's a great show to watch and share, and you get to see some of the stars that are out there today. You just mentioned Lexis King and also AJ Francis, folks like that. But, Promise Braxton and some of these other stars here who have been veterans within Reality of Wrestling. Certainly, folks, check out the show. You'll love it. It's exactly the type of pro wrestling that we grew up on and that we enjoy to watch, especially today. And that's all by Booker T, Queen Charmel, and the great team over at Reality of Wrestling. That's right. Booker T, I appreciate you coming back here on Duke Loves Rasslin. It's always great to catch up with you, man, and just, feel your energy and hear about all the great things going on, talk about the past, talk about the present and the future. It's just always a great time, man. And I know that folks are going to love to see you once again at the River City Wrestling Con on June 8th, St. Augustine, Florida. Folks, don't forget, rivercitywrestlingcon.com. Get your tickets for that. But I just want to say, Booker, you are a prime example of positivity and what happens when somebody gets a second chance. You had missteps when you were younger. You got a second chance, and you've never looked back. And it is amazing to see all of the wonderful things that you've accomplished personally, but also all of the wonderful things that you've helped other people accomplish. All of the great folks that you have given second chances to, who have then gone on to do great things for themselves and their families. It is just tremendous, man. So I encourage everybody, check out Booker T's books. You can go to Amazon and you can grab one of his books. Obviously, check out Reality of Wrestling. Go see him at River City Wrestling Con. Check him out on WWE NXT. This guy is everywhere. But on behalf of all the fans out there, seriously, Booker, we appreciate you and we thank you for everything, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the fans for always representing Booker T and always showing me that love. Everywhere I go, people, come up to me and, I have some people say, hey, man, do you ever get tired of that? And I tell them every time, when that stops happening, that's when I got a problem. So I appreciate you guys, man.
Strictly for the culture. Brothers and sisters, you have seen the t-shirts, the hats, the hoodies, the mugs in the hands of some of your favorite pro wrestling stars, podcasters, and influencers out there. And now it's time. Visit strictlyfortheculture.ca and you too can be part of the movement. Bigger than sweatshirts and commercial success, Strictly for the Culture aims to build with like-minded people and elevate their position in the world through knowledge, self-love, and a desire to unite. So what are you waiting on? Visit strictlyfortheculture.ca. Do it for the love. Do it for the knowledge. Most importantly, folks, do it strictly for the culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Najasism, Najasism.
And this is the face that runs the place.
And we're here representing change. Oh my God. My phone started making noise. I'm sorry. And you're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
Brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. You know that I am always excited about featuring the best and the brightest out there in the entire wrestling world, especially as it pertains to independent wrestling promotions that are coming up on the scene and making a positive difference out there. Yeah, we all, we hear about the drama and all that stuff, but it's always great to hear about folks who are doing some positive things out there. And down in Atlanta, there is a movement, okay? There is change coming. So what better way than to introduce the change than to have these two gentlemen here explain to you why this is going to be the hottest promotion out today and exactly why you need to come out and see it for yourself. So without further ado, from Change4Wrestling, Najasism The Face, welcome to Duke Loves Rasslin. How you doing, fellas?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
Yeah, we're excited to be on.
Well, listen, it is my pleasure. And I want to start with The Face for a second here because I know that you are an up-and-coming pro wrestling photographer. In fact, I'm actually familiar with your work. Talk to me just about this whole concept of Change4Wrestling. For you as a photographer who's on the come up, why are you involved with the company?
So over the past year, I've been ringside more than I can count. So I like to say that I have the best seat in the house. So with that being said, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen all the talented individuals that come throughout Georgia. And me being a photographer, I originally started because I wanted to create a platform. I wanted to create a space for talent to look like superstars, to look like rock stars. And Najee was the one who actually gave me the idea for the change. He brought it to fruition. And the first thing I thought about was all the talented people that we have out here that wrestle that just need an extra push, that need that platform to be rock stars. And that's really what the goal of change is for me personally.
And certainly Najasism, I mean, when we talk about a rock star, when we talk about a person who has the potential to be an icon, I mean, certainly not just the name, but the look, the style. Who am I? I know that's something that you put out there, what have you. Talk to me, Najasism. What is the deal with this Change4Wrestling, and how did Najasism get involved with this?
I am the Najasism, the greatest, the baddest, the best, your Hoochie Daddy. And one thing people know about me here in Georgia, yes, I'm a wrestler who has done a lot. I've won championships, all that kind of stuff. But I've also done a lot behind the scenes. My first venture, I came back to wrestling after a long break in 2020. And the first initiative I took was to create the Georgia Wrestling Awards. They have been giving out the Georgia Wrestling Awards for over a decade, and they would do like a little podcast and have the wrestlers call in. But it wasn't anything extravagant. So one of the first things I did was create the awards. And this year was our second year doing it. Great event, red carpet, all that great stuff. But I realized the awards was something for the entire state. And our state is it's already well known. We have a lot of great promotions on IWTV, a lot of great promotions that draw a lot of huge crowds and everything. But the one thing you see at these great promotions and at the awards, you do see a lot of talents that are not African American that don't get seen as much, don't get the opportunity, and it takes a long time for some of our young African American talents to get to the rosters of these bigger shows or to get put on flyers or to get those opportunities. So the main reason we're doing change is I created the award, something for the full state, but now I need to create something for my culture, for my African American brothers and sisters, and give them a platform that they may take way longer to get on at the other shows. So that's what this event is solely about. Giving that platform to the African American talents here in Georgia, who most of them feel like in order for them to get seen, they have to leave the state. So this is an event that we're doing, that we're planning to do twice a year. Yes, this is the inaugural one, but each year we'll be doing it to celebrate Juneteenth, and then each year we'll be doing it during Black History Month. So 2 times a year, this is when Change4Wrestling will happen.
It's interesting when we talk about the culture, and we talk about it's a catch-all term that not enough folks break down into the pieces that actually exist, because there's no one way to be. And that's the beauty of culture. You know what I mean? Especially Black culture. For somebody who's behind the camera face, you are very good at capturing the diversity within our culture. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about your eye and your creativity that allows that to shine through in your work.
So for me, it's all about capturing the moment, and I feel like trying to figure out the best way to highlight those wrestlers, highlight the talent. So I really dive deep into knowing their story. So that's all number one. I like to say I'm more than a photographer. I'm a student, if that's the best way to say it. I like to study who I'm taking pictures of.
And to chime in, just to give you a backstory, we met a year ago at Deep South Wrestling. It was his first time doing photography. We had a long conversation. We realized that we were very like-minded. We work in the same field, since I also work in media, graphic design, video production. Yes, that's my career outside of wrestling. I'm back in school again for media communications and everything. And we just realized, like, wow, we can really work together. And since that first time meeting, we've become best friends. We work on a lot of projects together, and we're just very like-minded when it comes to media.
Yes, this is the face again. But since the day we became friends, I don't know if it's a day has gone past where we haven't talked to each other. So it was kind of just like that. We knew right away that we both have similar backgrounds. We both have see the same vision, especially in Georgia wrestling. So from the moment that we became, that we talked, said, hey, hi, we've been,
working together. Yeah.
I love that. I love that, because when you are like-minded, unified, come from similar backgrounds, you're able to focus on the goal and create something special. And certainly, Change4Wrestling, that's the whole idea there. So Najasism, I want to stay on this subject though, in terms of showing different aspects of the culture, because even just looking at the Instagram and seeing some of the things that folks can expect with Change4Wrestling, again, everybody looks different, but yet everybody is all within what it means to be folks from the Black community and what have you here. Talk to me about the matchmaking process and what goes into making the decisions on who should be in the ring with who and why.
Okay, so like I said, I work behind the scenes. I've been in wrestling for a long time. I'm one of the business managers of Platinum Championship Wrestling here. So, I'm already in that process of working, doing the business, and I've helped behind the scenes at Deep South and a lot of other promotions or whatever. So when we first started planning this event, we thought, okay, let's think about some veterans, some draws, some people who are already in the main event here in Georgia that we definitely want on this show, here in specifically in Georgia. Then we went to, let's think about some upcoming rookies, some upcoming talents that's been wrestling less than a year, for 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, that are on the come up, that need to be seen, that are not getting seen as much on the other shows because they're just not booking a lot of African American talents. Then we also said, okay, let's look at some out of town talents, maybe 3 to 4 former WWE, or maybe some talents that are really popular on the indies right now that's done some stuff with AEW or TNA. And we kind of had a pool of wrestlers that we know we would want to help to draw. Then we started the matchmaking process. We started to see who would be some good one-on-one matches that we needed, who already had some set feuds that possibly we can use to build the show. And that's kind of how our matchmaking process went. We pulled from who we knew and who we thought would be a draw and who would really be a perfect example for the first show, because it was definitely strategic on how we booked the very first show. We had friends, we had people who we knew would love to be a part of the event and that we would love to have a part of the event, but just not for the first show. So it was very strategically booked. I don't know if I really answers your question completely, but that's how we kind of came up with everything.
No, I love it. I love it. I think that you nailed it with that, and that's some great information there, folks. We're talking to Najasism,
Yeah,
and
the Hoochie Daddy.
that the Hoochie Daddy, and literally you could go and purchase a Hoochie Daddy shirt there.
Yes,
Okay, so he really means it there. If you want to be part of the Hoochie Daddy crew, also the Face pro wrestling photographer here, and these folks are representing Change4Wrestling. Which, by the way, if you head over to change4wrestling.com, that's the number 4, by the way, change4wrestling.com, you can get information on tickets and what have you there, including sponsorships if you want to get involved that way. June 16th, 2024 is when you can expect this event to kick off. So, we're waiting with bated breath there, fellas. Why don't you let us know, what are some of the matches that we can expect on the card here?
Well, to kick the show off, we're going to start it big with the Fight for Survival. And the Fight for Survival has 18 men in there. Only one man will be left standing. The winner will get $1,000 cash prize and the Fight for Survival trophy. So I'll name some of the people that's in the Rumble. First, I'll name Frankie Picard, who's a very known talent from up north. He's been wrestling for a while. He's a wrestling vet, and he's also a celebrity, a part of the celebrity boxing company right now, and he's one of the champs there, celebrity boxing champion. So he was one of the people. He reached out to us. One great thing that happened about this event, we reached out to a lot of people, and then some people reached out to us, and even we'll get into one of the partnerships we have. They also reached out to us. But Frankie Picard. Then we have Trey Shaw, who's a standout in Georgia. He's starting to travel over. He's done some stuff in Indiana. He's one of the mainstays at PCW. J. Alpha Miller, he's a trainee at PCW who started to stand out over the past year working in Deep South, a couple different companies. Deion Summers, another young standout for the past 2 years. He's been wrestling in Georgia. Austin Towers, who's one of the longest reigning world champions in Georgia. He was the Southern Violence world champion for about 3 years, close to 7 foot. You got Trevor Eon, who's done stuff all over the U.S., done stuff with AEW, mainstay. He's done stuff with Ashe.
Japan, I believe.
Japan, too. Let's see who else we have. We have some standouts from WWE4. Jay Tyler, who's the champion in the state. Keelan Cole, the WWE 4 champion right now.
He is the champion.
He is the champion. Thinking of some DJ Smoke, Nate Matches, who are in my faction, the ENT, the standout group here in Georgia. Jay Lucas, who's another standout from who originally trained with WWE 4. He's wrestling all over the state right now. He's also the Renegade wrestling champion right now. Try not to leave anybody out, but pretty much 18 standouts. We have The End, who's a very interesting character coming from North Carolina. A lot of people haven't seen him, but the character is freaking crazy. And if one thing you'll remember at the Change event will be his entrance. Trust me, his entrance is going to be, we're going to have some quite interesting entrances. But right now, those are some of the main people in the Rumble that I could, the Fight for Survival that I could think of.
The next match is one of my personal favorites I'm looking forward to. We got Skrilla the Great versus David Ali, which is a feud that's been heating up for a really long time. And I'm happy they're able to settle their differences in a Change ring. So
yeah, they've been beefing online and going back and forth for about 6 months. And once we realized, it's like, man, they just been beefing. They've been going at it. We reached out to both, and they agreed to settle their differences at Change. So David will be flying in. He's based in Chicago right now, but he's been a mainstay in Georgia. He's won the Southern Honor Championship. He's won the Southern Fried Championship. He's been a champion all over the state of Georgia. He's done some stuff with AEW also. So, and Skrilla, he's the current Deep South champion. He's been the Southern Violence champion. He's been the GIPW champion. He's won championships all over the state. And last year, he was the overall wrestler of the year here in the state of Georgia. So that is going to be an amazing match.
Incredible. At one point, Georgia was the wrestling capital of the world, so to speak. I mean, nothing was happening that mattered in pro wrestling if it wasn't happening in Georgia. Is it fair to say that Georgia's back?
Georgia is hot right now. You got so many promotions that are just doing big things, bringing in big name talents, and I'm excited about after we talk about that, the triple threat tag team match is one that I really want to talk about. But it's like even Deep South is drawing 400 to 500 people every show. Southern Honor is hot. IWE has been hitting 700, 600 people. PCW is constantly growing. Our numbers are growing on IWTV. We just moved into a new facility. Every wrestling company in Georgia is stepping their game up. Southern Fried, literally every promotion. You got new promotions like Forever Pro. You got Action Wrestling that's traveling. They're doing traveling shows, and they have some great talents. Coastal Empire in Savannah, they're doing amazing things. It's
Classic,
just Classic City. One of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show to work. Classic City's going all over the state. They're doing shows in Atlanta, Macon, Athens, and it's been a privilege to be a part of that event and be one of the main talents on that show. So I'm just, look, Georgia is taking off, but change is here too. There's a lot of the young talents, like a lot of those talents we named in that Rumble, a lot of them aren't able to get, a lot of the talents that we named in that Fight for Survival match, they aren't able to get on those shows, and they're constantly trying to get on those shows and trying to get spots on those type of shows. So we're going to give them that platform to be seen. And this is an all African American event, from the production workers to the volunteers to the talent, the commentators, the ring announcer. Everyone is African American. So we want to be able to show them that as African Americans, we could put on an event that will equal any other event in this state, in the United States, lighting wise, production wise, in ring wise. We're going to show them that with this event.
I'm telling you, folks, Change for Wrestling. This is what it's all about. Change4Wrestling.com. That's the number 4. Change4Wrestling.com. Check it out. Get tickets. We're talking about Georgia, man. They're back. But the fact that we're talking about growing and collaborating with Black wrestlers, okay, at one time the most marginalized, the most overlooked group in pro wrestling, and even to this day, it's still very difficult for Black wrestlers to be showcased and seen on a large scale. One or two people will get spotlight, and everybody else is everybody else. So the fact that we have great folks like Najasism and, of course, The Face. The fact that you and your team are doing this, it's just fantastic. And I really respect and tip my hat to you on that scale there. So overall, what's the number one match on the card if you could pick one? If you could pick one that everybody cannot turn away from, I'll ask you both this question. In fact, I'm going to start with you, The Face. What's the number one match that you're looking forward to?
It's gonna be and I hate to do it to you, but we're announcing 3 matches next week, and one of those 3 matches is mine. So until then, I'm just saying it's on the way. That's all I
was about to say we have 3 more matches that we have to announce next week, and one of those 3 matches are going to be my favorite also. But one match that we didn't tell you about that we can talk about is the triple threat tag team match. And the reason why I love that match, because you have the Russell Twins, who are a young and upcoming talent tag team in the United States right now. We've seen them do stuff with AEW and Ring of Honor. And it's a privilege to have them on the show. They'll be wrestling Undeniable, who has been Tag Team of the Year here in Georgia multiple times. Their manager has been Manager of the Year. He's been Booker of the Year. So they are a mainstay here in Georgia. Then they're wrestling against the Washington Bullets, who's been Tag Team of the Year here in Georgia 4 times. They've done stuff with what is it? I can't think of the name of it. They've done stuff with Ring of Honor. They've done stuff with a lot of different main companies in wrestling, a lot of popular indies and all of that. So I'm really excited to see that triple threat tag team match. But outside of those 3 matches, that the Fight for Survival, Skrilla versus David, and that match, you got to wait on the other matches to get announced next week.
Well, definitely shout out to the Russell twins. These are 2 wonderful individuals who have been guests on Duke Loves Rasslin. I think the first time they're on the show was about 4 years ago. So we've been documenting their journey through the years, and it's great to hear that you have such a quality tag team, with this stacked card. The fact that you got these folks on here as well, I mean, that's, man, you're knocking it out of the park. Is this because you are a wrestler, so you're able to understand who to have as part of something? Because anybody can put a card together, but when you put together matches that people actually want to see, and with talents who can actually showcase themselves properly, is it because you have been, on the other side of things, where you've been in the ring with some of these guys?
I'm going to give you a direct answer. It's no. The reason is because I'm a marketing professional, and outside of that, I tell people I've been studying wrestling since I've been 4 years old. And what I mean by that, I don't think I ever watched wrestling as just a fan. As a child, I had a folder where I had over maybe 60 toys, some wrestling toys, some whatever, but everyone was in a feud. Everyone had a storyline. Everyone was booked into, I had a group of people feuding with this group of people. Literally from probably age 4 all the way up to maybe 13 or 14, I had my own wrestling company with my toys. I used to have the radio next to me, and everyone next to their names. I had a list of all my wrestlers. Everyone had an entrance song, and I would play it on the radio when they come out. I would use Lysol cans to make fireworks. I always had a big vision of what wrestling should be, and I always had a booker's mindset. Now, Face, why do you feel like we were able to, from your perspective, how did it come about with you?
I'm going to start by saying similar stuff. I didn't know that about you because I was the same way as a kid.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. We learned something.
We're learning about each other. So, same for me. I have action figures that date back to '98.
Yeah, I have my action figures, and I got action figures that date back to early '90s, early '90s probably. Yeah. And I still have a lot of them in the garage, like right now.
Yeah. So I will say, like, even being a photographer, I will say that, I've always had that mindset too, in a way, because like you said, since a kid, I was putting matches together, this had to be the champion. I was creating a story then. And, although I'm not a wrestler, being ringside, I'm able to be a part of those stories because I'm right there. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to see those stories firsthand. And when it comes to, finding matchmaking and figuring all that stuff out, I feel like as a photographer, you go to where the best matches are. That's where you want to be. You want to take the best picture of the best people. And I feel like that's, for me, is what Change is doing in the same way, because, I won't be taking pictures, but I kind of wish I was taking pictures.
You're not taking pictures at the event.
I want to see.
You're working backstage.
I want to, but part of me is like, I wish I could take pictures of it.
Now, look, we're about to head to my house later because we're leaving out for New York tonight. But when I get to my house, I'm actually going to show him my booking folder from when I was a child. I still have it with all the matches and all that crazy stuff in there. And I would like, after we get through on this part, let's talk about why we're going to New York, because it has something to do with Change.
Well, first of all, you got that booking folder, so I mean, you're going to be putting that in the documentary someday. There, I love the fact that you were able to hold on to that all these years. That is wild. That is completely wild.
Speaking into existence, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to it, because New York, that's my neighborhood. I'm in Boston, so New York's not too far away. What do you fellas got going on in New York?
So we on our Instagram, we were strategic about how we post, what we post, video flyer, reel, whatever. We were very strategic. We started planning this event in December, but we really didn't start promoting till like late February, early March. And we waited. We planned and we waited. And then one of the companies that followed me on my Instagram, One Division Pro, had already kind of, liked some of my stuff. I've been communicating back and forth with them. And then when they saw the material and the content that we were posting for Change, they reached out to us to partner up with us. And what ended up happening, their champion, we end up getting their champion booked for the event, which will be something we'll be announcing next week. He'll be defending his championship at the Change event. But One Division Pro, they're a newer promotion in New York and starting to really get some traction. Reached out to us about partnering. So this Saturday, tomorrow, I'll be wrestling there. And it's pretty much completing our partnership. They'll be partnering with Change. They'll be bringing their whole team down to the event. Their champion will be wrestling. Tomorrow I'll be challenging for one of their championships in New York. And plus, one of the standout talents, one of my trainees, who's a part of the Fight for Survival match, I mentioned him earlier, J. Alpha Miller, he'll be in the main event tomorrow challenging their champion. So if their champion wins tomorrow, he gets to choose his opponent for Change. So that's a big deal. They'll be doing a press layout for Change this weekend. Starting next week, they'll be helping us with sponsorships and everything. So for us to be a new event, a new company, to have a company reach out to us from New York and want to partner with us and work with us, it's been great. We've had conference calls. We're working together. So hey, we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for partners. We're looking for vendors. Hey, the more, the better.
I'm telling you, listen, I said the website a couple of times, but there's nothing better than hearing it from the people who actually are running the show. Let everybody know. How can they get more information about Change? How can they get tickets? And really how they can follow the both of you fellas through the journey here.
So the easiest way to do that is follow us on our social media platforms. Everything's under Change4Wrestling. We post pretty frequently. I mean, we have a strict marketing strategy, so we're making sure that content is constantly pushed out. Definitely on Facebook, definitely on Instagram.
Yeah, like you said, everything is Change4Wrestling. So that's Facebook, Instagram. We're about to start to really amp up the TikTok in a week or so. But everything is Change4Wrestling. If you want to become a vendor, basically our sponsorship page, I'm going to say it, but I know it's going to sound complicated. It's EventBee. That's event, EVENTBEE.com /V as in vase / sponsor Change. Now that's a complicated link, but if you go to our Instagram, if you go to our website, it's right there. You click the link on the sponsorship page. You can simply pay to be a vendor, which is only $75. You'll get to set up during the event. You'll get to sell your items, plus your logo will be on the screen during the event. And plus we'll make an announcement on our social media and promote you as a vendor and all of that. We have, I think, 4 different sponsorship packages you can choose from. And if you just want to be an individual donator, you could donate $75 or you could donate $100 or you could donate more. But if you go to the actual sponsorship page, it has all the options for you to be a vendor, sponsor, or just be an individual donator. And then outside of that, if you're interested in being a partner, you can just email us at change4wrestling.com and we can kind of discuss on what that partnership will be, whether it'll be whatever that partnership entails. That'll be a discussion that we have, and we can figure that out, because we're trying to partner with entrepreneurs, Black businesses, community organizations, schools, churches, whoever we can partner with in the African American community, and help elevate those businesses as we elevate ourselves as a company, as a promotion, as an event. We want to do that because this event is about celebrating Juneteenth and our African American brothers and sisters in the wrestling community. And then in Black History Month, when it comes to February,
sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but also and Black Fatherhood, since the event does take place on Father's Day.
Yes, we forgot to mention that. It's June 16th. It's on Father's Day, so we'll be celebrating Black fathers, baby daddies. No, celebrating Black fathers. But and then when we get to February, it's definitely going to be all about Black History Month. So just to give you an idea of how this event is going to kick off, we're going to have a DJ spinning in the beginning. We're going to get it lit in the beginning. Look, this is not going to be your typical wrestling event. And right after that, we're going to kick it off with Lift Every Voice and Sing. Then we're going to have some African dancers come out there. We ain't going to spoil it for you, but we got a big dance opening, big Coming to America opening. This is not going to be your typical wrestling event.
I love it. Listen, but before I have you fellas go here, I do want to ask you, the Nation of African American Wrestling. Jabari, his nickname, I don't know if you fellas knew this, is Big Bear. Okay.
He is one of our partners. He is on the team. He, from the beginning, when I brought this to his attention as an idea, he said he was on board, and he got us connected with you. And I want to say thank you to him before we even talk anymore. I just say thank you to Jabari, because Jabari is helping out and doing what he can to get us on more podcasts and platforms and get the event out there.
Face, you have anything to add to that?
Well, actually, he was on board, but he was antsy because we do have Skrilla on our roster, so he was a little hesitant for a split second.
They got beef,
but we were able to still keep him on board. But he was like, y'all got Skrilla. We was like, yeah. He was like,
yeah.
I love it. Shout out to Big Bear, aka Jabari, great friend of the show, and of course all of our friends over in Nation of African American Wrestling, doing what they always said they were going to do, doing what their mission statement states that they should be doing, promoting, celebrating, highlighting the best and the brightest in Black wrestling today. Once again, folks, you're talking about a marginalized community in a wrestling industry that was never made for us. So the fact that in 2024, we have so many wonderful wrestlers out there who are making it happen, so many talented people in wrestling in general that are making it happen. But most importantly, when you talk about a promotion that's able to get off the ground and have so many hands on deck, the vendors, the fact that you'll be able to sell your merchandise and what have you, be highlighted at the event, but you're supporting a movement at Change4Wrestling. That's what it's all about. That's community, and that fosters a healthy environment for the future as well. So, I just want to say I tip my hat to Change4Wrestling and the entire crew, including the Face, including Najasism. I can't wait to see what happens next, but I know it's going to be exciting, and I appreciate you folks joining me on Duke Loves Rasslin.
And like I said, you can follow us on every social media, every platform, Change4 wrestling. And if you want to individually follow us, you can follow me on Instagram at THE Najasism NAJASISM.
And you can follow the Face on Instagram at INTRFACELLC.
That's Intraface LLC.
Let's talk hydration. See, I carry something to drink with me every single place that I go because I am concerned about being dehydrated. It runs in the family. Everything from dry mouth, dizzy spells, fainting. It's pretty serious. And I've tried all the different types of waters and sports drinks. Let me tell you something right now. Liquid IV. That has been the most efficient at keeping me hydrated and doing so pretty quickly. Okay, Liquid IV has 5 essential vitamins and is 2 times faster at keeping you hydrated than water alone. And I'm serious, man. Everything from vitamin C to vitamins B3, B5, B6, B12. Liquid IV also is non-GMO, so it's free from gluten, dairy, soy. So for all you folks out there with food allergies, this may be right up your alley. And I know what you're thinking, but how does it taste, Duke? Well, it tastes pretty good. Okay, we're talking my favorite in pina colada. They also have tropical punch, strawberry, new flavors like sea berry and strawberry lemonade. You can enjoy this stuff, man. But don't take my word for it. I want you to stop what you're doing right now and head over to liquidiv.com. Use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin so you get 20% off your entire order. I mean, anything that you order on liquidiv.com. So what are you waiting for? It's time for you to shop better hydration today. Use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin over at liquidiv.com. Save yourself 20%. Stay hydrated. Most importantly, enjoy life. That's right. Now let's get on with the show. Till next time, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Take it away, Tony Schiavone.
Mr. Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Rasslin.